most of us now have to spend time on social media. With me, through work, I was sent to Facebook kicking and screaming. I wanted nothing to do with it. I had heard about it, really didn't want to be a part of it at all. But you have to be very careful when you go out there and realize that Facebook is still the World Wide Web. Even though you may have all these fancy settings, privacy settings for your account, anyone who knows what they're doing can access it. Unfortunately, even older girls like me have forgotten that. You know, I was coming up, we used this. This is a diary, just an old-fashioned bound bunch of paper. And you wrote all of your information in here, all your hopes and dreams, your disappointments. And when it was over, you stuck it in a drawer or under a mattress or in a closet, and it stayed there. So your secrets and things that made you very uncomfortable were not shared with the world. And unfortunately now, I think many people have forgotten anything you put on the internet is out there for the whole public to see. More importantly, not just the public and maybe your mom may learn or your grandmother or one employer. This can actually essentially blackball you when it comes to employment. Many people don't realize that when you put something out on the internet, especially Facebook and those social media avenues, it has a whole life of its own. And there are companies and hackers who make good money to go and find out who we really are. All universities and colleges, and employers know that all of us now are smart enough to realize that we wear our best suit, get our nice hairstyle. If we don't have a nice personality, we borrow one. We get coached now before we go into interview situations, and we present that person who we know is hireable or will be admitted into graduate school or wherever we would like to be. So they all know now that we're going to do that, so they're going to look for who we really are. For example, where I work, we are owned by a company that owns 50 different television stations around the country. So that means we are partnered with them, and in a matter of seconds, that information about one person can spread around the world. So, what's your name, sweetheart? Asia? So say Asia graduates from Savannah State with her mass communications degree. She has her internship. She's looking good. She comes for her interview at WTOC. She does well, of course, because we've all coached her, we helped her. They go and look and see who she really is. And they go and find on that Facebook page that she's someone who is crazy enough to write profanity, to talk about people on her Facebook page, to put up these pictures that are less than pictures you would want grandma to see, let's put it that way. They may feel that maybe this isn't the right person for our organization. Okay, so you say, okay, fine. One employer may not like you or want you there. So since we have these networks, just like you all have the University of Georgia college network, everyone is connected. So within a few moments, that person who found that information on your Facebook page can then copy and paste it, or they do. I just learned about something called a screen share, is that what it's called? You can actually take a picture. You have an iPad, you can actually take a picture of the page and then email it off. So now 50 managers at 50 different companies around the nation know about whatever embarrassing moment you may have had in a split second. So just be careful. So essentially, by letting her guard down, she could blackball herself for 50 companies, not just one. So always keep that in mind. We want you to have fun when you go out there on social media, but never lose your head. And when it comes to something that is embarrassing and you don't want everybody else to know, it's always best to write it down. I was journaling when I was a little girl, long before anyone ever heard of Oprah Winfrey. And I always had these paper journals. My mom was the best. I never had locks in them, but she never read them. It was so funny. And while I was writing this book a couple of years ago, she actually found my 7th and 8th grade journals. And it was really interesting to see, you know, when you're that age and you're changing so much, the things that drove you crazy, the things that made you lose sleep. But the good thing about it, I was able to work them out. And honestly, everything becomes clear when you write about it. Take the time to write about it. You can go to the dollar store and get a journal for $1. You have to spend a whole $3 like I spent folders, and I thought the cover was pretty. It has been said that our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that frightens us most. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? Your playing small does not save or serve this world. There is nothing enlightening at all about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We're all meant to shine, just as children do. We were born to make manifest the spiritual glory that is within all of us. It is not just in some of us, it is in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the very same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Success is doing what it takes in spite of one's fears. You and only you, that's a capital U, are the subject that impacts the burning desire in your imagination. You must be conscious of how you use those words, I am. You must say, I am strong, I am well, I am content, I am smart, I am confident, I am courageous, I am empowered, I am. Even if your senses tell you something different, just say, I am. Can you all do that with me? We're going to say, I am. Those dreams are not going to happen for you or become a reality if you wait on opportunities to come to you. We all know that. You all college students, you know. I know that you've heard that before, but one thing you may not have heard, I think adults, all of us, do a bad job of reminding young people that you have to work hard. And there will be setbacks. And when there are setbacks, you need to continue to work hard. And you need to set realistic goals. I want that to be one of the big messages that everyone gets from my book. When I was little, I dreamed of being a pediatrician. And up until I was in the 8th grade, I moved to the big city of Savannah. I thought I was going to be a pediatrician. My 8th grade year, I was a volunteer at Memorial Hospital as a candy striper on pediatric school because there was no children's hospital back then. I was so excited. I got to hang out with little people all day long, and I got to read books and play games with them. And many times when the doctors came in, I got to stay and hold their hands because oftentimes parents have to go to work, and sometimes, unfortunately, when children are prone to terminal diseases, many parents leave them at the hospital. So that child needs the comfort of a human being as well, even though it was a 13-year-old. And it was great up until a few of my patients passed that summer. And as a 13-year-old, that was a heavy burden for me to go to work and see a child I'm used to playing with in bed as empty, or the child was still there and they had not taken the child away yet. So I kind of thought maybe I won't be such a great pediatrician because I'm crying every day. I can't deal. It was really hard for me to be in the room. The nurse or doctor was giving a shot, and just the idea that young people had such grown-up diseases just really, brought me to tears almost every day. So I was getting a little antsy about that career choice. And when I went to Savannah High School, the old Savannah High School on Washington Avenue, I took a physics class, and that was a nail in the coffin. I worked so hard, and I finally got eked out a C. And I said, oh my gosh, if I'm working this hard in high school in science, how am I going to handle all those advanced science classes you have to take in order to become a doctor? So that's when I started thinking, maybe I need to think about something different when it comes to my career. And I was really blessed in that, blessed and cursed. I've always had this big voice, even when I was a little kid. You wouldn't believe how many times I got in trouble in church trying to whisper. Because even today, Kareem McMichael working for WTOC, I don't know how to whisper. I whisper like this. So it's just, it's just really bad. So I got into so much trouble in church, my mom getting on me for whispering. But I always had this big voice, and I was the person in church who was the little kid, who was the narrator when the older kids had the big plays. And I was always the one at Easter time who was giving the big Easter speech. So and I loved English, and I loved to write. So I started looking at careers where I could use English every single day. And long before Oprah Winfrey coined the phrase of following your passion, I guess that's what I did. I found something that I truly enjoyed. Like I said earlier, it is really amazing to be excited about what you do every single day, even now. It really is a blessing for me. So I'm very, very excited about that. I want you all, when you get older and you're in your 40s, to look back on your life and be happy about the decision you made about your career, about the kind of person you become. Because let's face it, the career is really, really important because as you all know, growing up in your households with your families and parents, you spend more time on your job than anywhere else. So I would hope that you could at least be happy and not be upset every time you had to go to work. A lot of adults are happy about their jobs because they make a lot of money, but they're not happy about what they're doing. So I want you to choose wisely. I think that it's just one of the best things that you could possibly do. As many of you sit here this morning and this afternoon right now, you'll be going into the real world very soon, either to the military or going into the workplace. And I think universities like Savannah State do a wonderful job of preparing you for the basic skills that you need in order to fulfill the objectives that your boss will give you from time to time. But what it doesn't help you with is how you go into an environment and deal with people every single day. Men and women. Good grief, it is difficult. I don't know if you all heard if you're working yet. Many people automatically think about the whole male issue and like, oh yes, women and men working together, it's kind of hard. But you know, it's hard to work with women too. It really is. But I want to challenge all of you to go into your new role in life with an open mind, be ready to learn new things and accept constructive criticism. But most importantly, remain positive. And that's going to be hard. It really is going to be hard because you're surrounded by so many people. And as you all know, even at your level, there are some people who wouldn't be happy if they won the lottery today. They won that $300 million. They find something to be sad about. So you have to make sure that you move away from them and don't give them the power to steal your joy. It's really important for you to protect yourself and who you become. Our attitude is the primary force that will determine whether we succeed or fail. Stay away from those negative people. Stay away from gossip. Keep your personal life and professional life separate. When you get dressed in the morning, ladies, remember you are dressing for work, not the nightclub. Remember, it is rare to have a coworker who will also be your true friend. Coworkers will not keep your secrets. Never handle any situation in life when you are angry. Never let your coworkers see you cry. When it comes to men on the job, I say handle with care. I know this is very old-fashioned, but I would advise do not date anyone you work with. Most relationships are not successful. And having to deal with that person every single day, ooh, that could be a train wreck. Go out and change the world. You have a goal you should be pursuing, a dream you should be launching, a plan you should be expecting and executing, a project you should be starting, a possibility you should be exploring, an opportunity you should be grabbing, an idea you should be working, a problem you should be tackling, a decision you should be making, and a wonderful life you should be living. The greatest force in the world is to be a positive idea. I want to thank all of you for coming today. I know there are a million places you can be, especially on college campus in the middle of the day, so I'm honored that you're here. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer a few for you. Because we have some time for that. Is that okay right now? Anyone? Oh, well, not all at once. Yes, ma'am.
What made you get into starting to write the book in the first place?
Well, honestly, I was really upset and sad, like a lot of people in my age group, when we look back at how society has changed. It is wonderful that, we are so open these days, and technology is great, and we're able to put information out there really fast, and life is completely different than when I was a little girl, when my mom was a little girl, and former Mayor Otis Johnson was a little boy growing up in this area. But there are some tragedies that come along with all this advancement. So what I saw was, especially when it comes to television, when I was little, we had 4 channels, and one was PBS. And at midnight, they all signed off. They played the national anthem, and then the screen went gray, and we called it snow. It said this, all night long until about 6 in the morning. But what happened with that very conservative and closed society is, up until about 9 o'clock, my mom could leave me in front of the television. I would only see G-rated programming. Now, not that she allowed me to watch a lot of TV, but at least she didn't have to worry about that. When I went to, in 1993, I went to the night shift, and I worked from 3 until midnight, Monday through Friday. And it was scary to me to see the kinds of grown folk business that's being discussed in the middle of the day. So you have little kids who are at daycare centers being kept by grandma, who are seeing things and being introduced to things a lot earlier than we were. And I'll just be honest with you, even, the way society, we accept more people and accept them for who they are, and it's a beautiful thing. But I think at the same time, some parents are forgetting to tell beautiful young ladies like you that even though, yes, go out there, be yourself, girl, you can do it, there's still rules that you need to follow in order to be a good and decent human being. And there are rules you need to follow in order to be a success at the end of your life. So yes, you can do whatever you want, but you have to be prepared to deal with the repercussions. So what I wanted to do was kind of write from the perspective of, if I had a daughter today, and all of you, most of you in here, probably could be her, what I would want her to know about life, in order to believe in herself, take her education seriously, all the topics I covered, and a whole lot more, that would make her a successful human being and a good and decent person. as well as successful in her own career. So that was the whole reason. I was complaining like a lot of people, talking amongst my family members and friends, and one day I was like, I'm tired of just stewing about it. It's time to do something about it. And when I was a little kid, I'll be honest with you, growing up in Riceboro, and we were poor. I don't think we realized how poor we were because everybody was the same until you went to school in Hinesville. But and they had, all this stuff, or whatever. But what I say about that is when you're little and you're growing up and you're poor, you think that if you had more money, everything would be right with the world. And what I learned when I decided to go into this business of, I'm probably one of the few that I know who works and has to depend on their paycheck who's in television news, because it really is usually the majority of people who go into business, and I don't mean to say it to be offensive to anyone, they're spoiled little rich kids who are trying to find themselves. And once they realize it's so much bigger than you putting on makeup in a pretty suit and sitting down on TV, you have to work hard before you get there. And most nights at 11, I have 5 minutes to put powder on my face because I've been running all night long, even at this level. They quit and go home to mom and daddy. That's why I say that. But working with a lot of those young people, for the 23 years I've been working, it's so sad. They had all these material things that I didn't have. They had a private school education. They had all the trinkets that little girls dream of. But their moms never took the time to give them the basics to become strong, independent women. And I watched them make mistakes, not only at WTOC, but my family and friends, and as we talk about co-workers and some of us too, and I've had my moments as well. I am not perfect. I talk about those in the book as well. But when you see that if people would just slow down and go back to how we were decades ago, where we had more family time, all of you would have a better outcome, because there would be some rules there. And I think we all need structure. None of us come out of the womb knowing how to be a decent person. I had habits, and my mom had to break me up too. I used to stare at people like it just reminded me of this yesterday. I used to stare at everybody who I thought was remotely different, to the point where I stared and my mouth hung over. And so she could break me out of that. Well, if she would have told me that, I'd been sitting right in here looking at somebody with a funny shirt going, completely hypnotized by it, I remember walking across the room one day and she's going, hold your shoulders up. You're just stomping across the room, because that's what we do when we're little. But even as a little kid, my mom and my grandparents thought enough of me, and they loved me enough to maybe make me a little embarrassed at that point, but it helped me develop a good habit. So that's really, why I wanted to do it, because honestly, I was not blessed with children. This is my baby, my paper bag. So my mom has a paper bag grandchild. But I just feel like as a human being, a decent human being, how can you not care about you all and, what you can become today? And I want to make sure that it's not just because you had some crazy moments, for St. Patrick's Day and posted you drunk and acting the fool on Facebook or everywhere else, so that a future employer can now find that and say, maybe we're not going to give that person a try. I know you've heard in the news lately with Facebook, now some of the employers are trying to ask for your passwords. Now, I don't know that I agree with that, but it is something for you to remember that here, if you go back to 2008, when we had the big recession, we first acknowledged there was a recession. And we all had cutbacks at our jobs. Salaries were frozen at some point. They stopped matching 401ks and all these things. They realized that we weren't going anywhere. So we're never going to get back to the time where you have all these great benefits on jobs anyway. So you never know. If we don't say that this is, invasion of privacy, you can't do this, you never know what other employers may start that from now on. So it's really important for all of us just to always remember who we are and stop comparing ourselves to others so much, because Dawn's best is going to be different than Asia's best and Brian's best. We're all going to